Hi, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm Cece.
And I'm Allie, and today we have a great episode for you all about multi-pet households and how to keep them clean, especially when you have so many animals in one space together. It is absolute craziness. So I am so excited for this topic because Cece, I know you have five beautiful Rottweilers that you take care of in one beautiful house. So I cannot wait to hear about how you're able to manage all of that at the same time because I know that I would be very overwhelmed.
Well,
So
I'm going to be honest with you, Allie. I'm overwhelmed most days. We have so we work very closely with SSRR, which stands for Southern States Rescued Rottweilers. I know it's a mouthful. SSRR. And
SSR. Got
yeah,
it.
SSRR. And when you say it fast, it just rolls off the tip of your tongue. So it's like SSRR, and people are like,
Yeah.
"What are you saying?" But so we do a lot of work with them, my husband and I. We do a lot of fostering. We do a lot of we do temperament tests. We go to the local shelters to test Rottweilers' temperaments to see if we can bring them into the rescue. And
Wow.
um, we actually, so four of our own dogs now, they're all from the rescue. Some of them were foster fails, some of them were, we wanted to adopt them, but they all have their unique personalities and they've all come from abused and neglected homes, essentially. And so our latest one now, we named him Santa because he stumbled into our lives a Christmas Day of all days. And we he just, my goodness, he's probably the most challenging dog like we've ever had in our house because his level of care is just so high. And right now it's five big dogs. Each dog is anywhere from 80 to 120 pounds. And yes, it's nuts. And they're all it's funny because whenever I'm working from home, because I do work from home a couple of days out because of Santa's needs for right now until we gotta get him acclimated. I'm in this tiny little home office and I have all four dogs in there, and it's so funny because it gets hot so fast, and then there's a musty smell, and then Goose is drinking water and slobbering water everywhere. So it's rough. But cleanliness and having a fresh scented home, like it's so important to us. And it's something that my husband and I are always and this is something that homeowner pet owners may not talk about, because it's a pain point, it's an embarrassing pain point.
Yeah.
We're concerned and we're self-conscious of the fact that when people come over, it's that thought of like, are they going to think that my house smells like a dog? you know
Yeah.
and it's that dog smell. And you know what I'm talking about, right? It's that dog smell. It's not necessarily stinky, but it's just a musty odor, and
Yeah.
we're
It just
always
like kind
so
of lingers too. It's like one
yeah,
of those weird smells where like even if you're not necessarily next to the dog, it like whiffs its way like around and it's kind of near. Yeah. It's
yeah.
a tough one for sure.
So yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest challenges in a multi-pet household like ours, where we have our dogs collectively range from a total of close to 500 pounds, so we have 500 pounds of dogs in the house.
Oh my God. When you
We do
put it like that, it's
Yeah,
crazy. 500 pounds of dog is a lot. That's like an
yeah.
insane number to think about.
And so, we do certain things. And I'm gonna bring this up because I have it near my desk. I really did have it near my desk,
That's so
because
perfect.
I was shooting something on Monday. But I will say, and I'm not just saying this because I work for My Pet Pede. We're part of the My Pet Pede company, and it's not that. It's truly because My Pet Pede is one of the best, if not the best, odor eliminators, stain removers on the market. The one thing that I really love about My Pet Pede is that there's no odor whatsoever. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand, and I know that that's probably one of the top questions you get, like, what is the scent? Is there a scent? There is no scent. And the reason why there's no scent is because it's trying to eliminate the odor. And think about it. If there's a scent, then how can a product truly eliminate odor, right? And so And so yeah, I mean, it's a product that we use religiously in the household. We have gallons, we have bottles. I've given it to friends, to family, and it's just it is one of the top products that have really helped us maintain that sense of freshness, the
Yeah.
cleanliness in the house. Also, just constant cleaning,
I was
constant.
gonna say when you first got Santa, I know outside of, the having the other dogs and trying to migrate him in with them as well, like you had to deal with a lot of different health things that I'm sure my pet peed was able to help clean up, especially with, the fact that he's such a big dog and he's been through a lot. So, you have to imagine how stressful that like transition must have been for him. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. With a lot of these rescue dogs and with Santa, his story, just to give you a little more backstory, he was tied up and he was left for dead. He was tied up with a big nasty rope, and when he found us, he was emaciated. He was around, I don't know how many pounds he was, but he was very, skin and bones. Um,
yeah.
he has like a scar around his neck from where the rope was because he was tied up for so long. And he's a puppy. He's about a year old. And so, yeah, so he was tied up and there's a big ring, like a scar around his neck. And then the hair that's growing around there, it's white from all the trauma. So this dog has probably never been in a house. And it's not like it's a puppy where, I mean, I'm sorry, it's not like it's a younger, smaller puppy where we can start crate training him
Yeah.
and we are doing that now, but it's a slower process because he's used to literally living outdoors, so he's not housebroken at all.
Mhm.
So we have this room that we're converting into a foster room, and he those floors, like I'm gonna have to take a picture and send it to you because those floors are so warped. The wood has come up from the ground because he's peed so many times, he's pooped so many times, and it's saturated into and we clean it, we have a camera so we can see when all that happens, but um there's only so much that we can do, when one spot just keeps repeatedly getting peed on. And so the floors are so warped, but I mean, we've been cleaning it with My Pet Pete. We've been mopping it, and I mean, it definitely helps, but it's something that you just can't prevent. So
Oh, yeah.
now we're in the crate training phase, and that's been lifesaver.
Awesome. Oh, that's great to hear. I'm glad that you guys are finally able to start that with him. That's awesome. So I know that there's kind of a process in terms of getting them, you know, more comfortable with the other dogs that you already have. What was that like for some of your other dogs, and what was that kind of like for Santa? Well, like trying to integrate all the dogs together into one big family. I know that it can be a little a little tough, so.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great question, and that's a question that um, probably we'll dive deeper into on another podcast because it
Yeah,
just requires so much conversation on it and discussion on it.
absolutely.
But we actually haven't. We've only introduced Santa to Casey, our youngest puppy, and him and Casey are around the same age. They're about a year
Mhm.
old, a year and like a couple months. And so we've only done the introduction with Casey. They've played outside. They like one another. They enjoy each other's company. They're very playful. But as for the other pups, we've not even started that because there's a when you bring a new dog into the home, there's like a decompression process. There's time that you need to give them to really get used to their surrounding. And one of the top reasons why you see a lot of people who volunteer with rescues and for them returning, not, I hate saying returning like it's a product, but like them giving the dog back,
Mhm.
um, is that they don't follow these protocols. And so what they'll
Yeah.
do, and we see it a lot with SSRR. I want to say it fast, right? But one of the top reasons why people return these dogs back to SSRR is they take a dog home and they have other dogs in the house and they're just like, oh, okay, well, my dog's great. They'll all get along, and they don't follow the protocol. And because they don't do that, their dog either we've seen instances where dogs have gotten hurt. We've seen situations where, they attack one another, and it gets really ugly, gets really nasty, and or they get territorial, or they have slowed down that whole process and they've messed it up, and so
Yeah.
they're really setting up their dog and the new foster dog for failure.
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, I mean, what we do is we just take it very, very slowly because at the end of the day, you have to remember that these are Rottweilers, and
Yeah.
and it might be a little bit. I mean, you still have to follow the protocol, but we wouldn't be as apprehensive if it were little Chihuahuas or medium-sized dogs. Where
Mhm.
I can easily get in there and I can break up a fight if needed. And so you just have to be cautious, and you just have to
Yeah,
have that in the back of your mind.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like there's so many, as crazy as it can be, there are still so many benefits to having a multi-pet household. I mean, especially considering how big your family gets to be. And I mean, you have the Roddy squad, so you are defended at all times. It is, I mean, what is it? It's like scary dog privilege is the like,
Yeah, yeah.
ongoing thing. But it's one of those things where I feel like they're your babies. Every time I hear you talk about it, it's never like anything that can't be handled. You make having a multi-pet household seem like it is easy, but still very, time consuming. There's a lot of stuff that's a part of it, but you make it seem like it's all worth it at the end of the day. So I commend you for that.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Definitely they're just the light of our lives, and I feel like I've really found my purpose with these dogs,
Oh,
and so it's definitely worth it for me anyways. And
yeah,
i- it's it's very rewarding, it's very fulfilling at the end of the day, and it just makes me feel good because it's like, if you don't do it, then who is? With
Mhm.
Santa, if we hadn't have stepped in to help him, then he, I don't know, he may have been euthanized, like
Yeah.
or he may have gone to like people that didn't have the best interests for
Mhm.
him. And yeah, so we're doing our best to give him a good home, whether it's with us or, we're rehabilitating him now so that we can send him to someone and set him up for success and set them up for success. Because,
Yeah.
we ultimately just want him to be happy. We want all our dogs to be happy.
Oh, that's
I
so
wish I could save
awesome.
all the dogs,
I
but
know.
unfortunately, that's not the case. I can't do that. We can't do that, but we can. One life saved, it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I wish I had the resources to be able to have multiple pets. At the moment, I do not, but I hope one day to be able to because
Yeah.
you make it look all worthwhile. It looks, I mean, like I said, I've always loved pets too, but I don't know, there's just something special about the bond that I feel like people have with their dogs, especially in that situation. So that's awesome. But yeah, I don't mean to change the topic, but I do have three questions that we received on social media from some people that I thought that we could answer real quick, or that I could answer at least real quick.
Yeah.
These are some common questions that we tend to get, so I thought it might be fun to do a little, segment where we just answer a couple questions. And yeah, so
All right, shoot.
I'm ready. Okay. So one of the questions that we received was, how does one extract the product? Which we get this one a lot. And I know it tends to come from the way that some of our ads are worded, but I want to make it very clear. You do not have to do anything to extract my pet peed. The way that the process works is once you spray the product onto your stained area, the formula works and there's an oxidization process, and that is what lifts the product out of your carpet with the stain and the odor. So you do not have to extract anything. The product extracts itself. You can just spray, walk away, and then repeat as needed.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Another
Oh, I was
Mhm.
gonna
No,
chime in.
go ahead. Go
Uh,
ahead.
Very, very good explanation, Allie. So right now we've been using a lot of my pet peed in the foster room that I was telling you about.
Mhm.
In that foster room, it's just wood. It's not hardwood, I don't think. It's just more of just whatever type of wood it is that's warped.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever cheap wood it is that's warped.
Yeah.
Um, And so we've been using a lot of that. So what I do on that, where it's not carpet, is
Mhm.
of course pick up the waste. That's one thing that I see where people are like, so you're saying this is gonna make poop disappear? No, you have to pick up the waste. Like use common sense.
Yes.
So we pick up the waste, or we the urine, poop, vomit, whatever it is, and then what I'll do is I'll spray MPP on the stained area for and leave it there for around anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, just letting the product work, and then for it to really kill off all the bacteria, and then I'll
Mhm.
wipe it up. You really don't want to leave it on wood surfaces for longer than 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
absolutely.
just wanted
No,
to put
that's
that
awesome.
little tidbit in there.
No, thank you for sharing your experience. I know a lot of customers too tend to, especially with wood, because wood can be a little trickier since the product can't be left on for longer than 30 minutes at a time. They do tend to, have some questions about that. So thank you for explaining how that works for you, because I know that that'll be super helpful for people. Another question that we received is, what type of floors can it be used on? So my Pepide can be used on carpet, it can be used on hardwood floors, it can be used on luxury vinyl plank, as well as linoleum. It can be used on cement and concrete, tile, and grout. So just as a note, we do not personally recommend using it on 100% wool.
Mm-hmm.
Just due to dyes and color fastness. Sometimes the dyes in the 100% wool rugs tend to bleed. So for the safety of your rug and everyone's reassurance, we just try to recommend avoiding using the product on 100% wool surfaces. So
Right.
otherwise, my Pepide can be used on most surfaces. And if you do have any further questions about that, it can be found in our FAQ page on our website. So it's the first tab up there, and it'll list all the surfaces that my Pepide can be used on. So that is also a super helpful point of reference if needed.
Awesome. And just to chime in again,
Mm-hmm.
I would say always test for color fastness.
Always,
Always
always.
test in a small, inconspicuous area where, if you're not sure about your carpet, then instead of just spraying it everywhere, spray in a little tiny area to make sure that, there is no color fastness, and then you can start using it. Just to be safe.
Absolutely.
That's what I
Yeah,
do.
absolutely. Always better to be safe than sorry.
Mhm.
I'm on that train with you. So the last question that we have today is, how long does it take to get once you order it? So our normal processing time at MyPepid is 24 to 48 hours. So after that, it is all dependent on what state you live in.
Mhm.
We only have our warehouses in Texas, so we are unfortunately not like Amazon. We do not have multiple warehouses in multiple states to be able to offer a guaranteed 2-day shipping the way that Amazon is. So, like I said, our normal processing time is 24 to 48 hours on our end. And then once it is in the hands of the delivery company, it does just vary depending on the state that you live in, and how fast it's able to get there. So, I hope that that was able to help answer a couple questions for you guys. And again, if anyone ever has any more questions, you know where to find me, and I'll be on social media. So just go ahead and send them that way. But it was really nice to be able to see those questions, because we do tend to get them a lot. So it's nice to be able to help answer some, even though, like I said, we have resources on the website, our FAQ page. We are also always here to help answer whatever questions people may have. So I like to get some of those questions out, especially because I know that a lot of people do tend to have them and they'll ask them a couple times. So hopefully, people are able to see it. They'll be able to recognize that. Yeah,
Awesome.
we're here to
Yeah,
help.
they were great questions, and they were very common questions that I see very often. So, yeah, thank you so much for those very clear answers, Allie. And I love talking to you today. I can't wait for
Same.
next week. We do another coffee talk, and whatever topic it is, I'm sure, hopefully, you guys love it.
I can't wait. I mean, I've personally been having a blast with these, so hopefully everyone else is enjoying them from the other perspective. So I can't wait to talk with you again next week, Denise, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Sounds good. Bye, Allie.
Bye.
Bye.